The Greatest Showman. I just absolutely love this movie. It's just probably my favorite musical.
What are you doing?
Isn't it our favorite Hugh Jackman movies?
No. Doing X-Men.
Oh. Be right back. Alright, welcome back to Two Brothers Review. This episode is going to be a little like our last episode, whereas last one we ranked MCU, this one we're doing X-Men. And if you're wondering how we got this one out so quickly, whereas the last one took forever, we actually recorded this one before we did MCU. That one hasn't been recorded as I'm talking to you yet.
Well, there's 22 movies, so
yeah,
we got a lot to review.
Yeah, and we wanted to take our time, do it right, make sure that was a really good one. So that's what took so long. So here's a little one to get out quickly, so keep you getting content out there.
All right.
Okay.
Let's begin.
All right. I'll let you start. What's your 12?
All right. My number 12 is The Atrocity, Dark Phoenix. This movie's terrible. I don't even... This movie gave me a migraine earlier when I was thinking about it. It's right on par with Dragon Ball Evolution as a terrible movie. The only saving graces are Sophie Turner and James McAvoy. James McAvoy is a perfect Professor X, even though his character is so unlikable in this movie. Beast turns, bad. Wants revenge on Jean Grey, who, spoiler alert, kills, Mystique, by accident, mind you, because she can't control her power. And she says that about 400 times throughout the movie. And, just poor execution. They can't do the Dark Phoenix saga right. They just can't. I don't know what it is. Hopefully Marvel Studios does it so much better. I just hope they bring the X-Men to justice. This movie was such a disappointment. Like I said, it was an atrocity.
Okay, so number 12, I have Origins Wolverine. I like the intro. I like young Wolverine with his bone claws. I like seeing him fight in the Civil War and World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. I like that. I like the callback to X2 when it talks to Stryker and everything, and him getting his adamantium. So I like the origin part of it. But I don't like how it just seems like it's been retconned out of existence, so it doesn't really fit in the timeline anymore. This is the only Gambit movie, so he hasn't been seen since one movie and done. So he's been underused. What they did with Deadpool was horrible. Silver Fox isn't. I'm not a great character in this movie. Don't really care much about her. So I don't know. Kind of boring. No longer really fits in the timeline. Pretty scalable. So yeah, number 12, Origins Wolverine.
Huh.
Your 11.
All right, my number 11 is Apocalypse. This movie, I was so excited for this movie, and I was so disappointed. But I was way more disappointed in Dark Phoenix. This movie did not live up to its expectations. Oscar Isaac was cast as Apocalypse, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to deliver because his character was written so poorly. I don't even really know what to say about this movie. Jean Grey somehow taps into her Phoenix powers, which we don't know if she inherits or if she gets it done by the Phoenix Flare or whatever it is. But whatever it is, it just wasn't that. It didn't live up to its hype. I'd watch it again, but it just didn't live up to its hype, and I was really disappointed.
Okay. So my number 11 is Dark Phoenix. Yeah, just to build on what you said. So does she have her Phoenix powers naturally, or does she get them from the Phoenix Force? Because in the movie, and also in the end of X-Men Apocalypse, it seems like she has them inherently, but then also in Dark Phoenix, she gets them after the Phoenix Force enters her. So what's that about? You really you can't do Dark Phoenix without doing the Phoenix Saga first. You need the Phoenix Saga. You need to be introduced to the Shi'ar, to Lilandra and D'Ken. You need to know about the Yamkron Crystal and all that. And the Dabari, in the comics, the Dabari were a race and their planet was destroyed by the Phoenix Force. But in this movie, they seem more like a substitute for Skrulls than anything else because Fox didn't have the Skrulls rights. Um, you know, like you said, Beast becoming obsessed with revenge. It's not the Beast I know. It's just Mystique's killed right off at the beginning, so she's not going to be. Quicksilver gets hurt like in the beginning of the movie, and he's not in the rest of it. And he's such a great character. And,
Evan Peters is a great Quicksilver.
Yeah.
He really, really is.
and to see him just out of commission for like the whole movie, it just feels like such a
Yeah,
disappointment.
he was such a big factor in the beginning. Like the beginning of the movie was cool.
Mhm.
Go up to space, save everybody, yada yada yada. All right, you think, all right, this is gonna be a good movie? Nope, nope.
Yeah, so disappointing ending to the Fox era of X-Men. So let's hope MCU does better. Oh, speaking of MCU, Mutant Containment Unit (MCU) on the
On the
policemen's
patches.
patches. that was great.
That was great. All right, my number 10 is X-Men 3: The Last Stand. So this movie came out in 2006, so I was 11, getting ready to turn 12. It just wasn't that good of a movie. I hate saying that. Felt very rushed. The execution on Dark Phoenix was so poor. They killed James Marsden's Cyclops right off the bat. Beast is blue already. We don't know how he got that because he was human in the previous movie, and then he's blue. So Rebecca Romijn is always good as Mystique. Ian McKellen is a great Magneto, an older Magneto, I should say. But the execution was just done so poorly. It was very, very rushed. Very rushed.
All right, so at 10, I have The Wolverine. So it was nice of them to kind of take a chance with this movie, take us where he hadn't been before, namely Japan.
Literally.
Yeah, so, and then it was unique, not really returning characters other than Wolverine and not characters used in the future either. So I think that's probably its weakest part. It kind of makes it a little boring because, the only character you really care about in this movie is Wolverine, there's really only two important things come out of this movie. First is the prophecy about Wolverine dying with his heart in his hand, and then the second being the end scene where it sets up for Days of Future Past. But CGI is good. There's some good action sequences. Also, Wolverine heals as soon as he gets hurt. So how do you kill him? Because he's basically unkillable. So they introduce a weakness to him. They figure out how to slow that down and everything with the heart parasite. So that was an interesting take on it. But overall, skippable.
Very, very skippable.
Nine.
All right, my number 9 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. I liked the backstory. I thought it was cool. How we discover not discover, but it goes into detail about how he got his adamantium skeleton and claws and everything like that. Touching up on what you said, we see him fighting all the wars, which is really, really cool. Gambit's in it for all but 15 minutes. We even see the Blob. I didn't even think about that. It felt kind of rushed, too. A lot of these X-Men movies felt very rushed. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. The guy who plays Sabretooth, whose name I can't pronounce, he's very good as Sabretooth. Yeah, I liked it. I think it's a good origin story, literally.
Okay, so at number 9, I have The Last Stand. Yeah, just building on what you said, they set up the Phoenix pretty well at the end of X2, and they just kind of blew it here. We have all 5 original X members in it, but even that's more because of Cyclops killed off right at the beginning, and Jean's the villain for most of it. Angel's cool. I love Kelsey Grammer as Beast, despite the unexplained. He's blue now, like you said in X2, he was human. Now he's in his blue furry form. But Kelsey Grammer's great. Love that guy. He does a great job as Beast. And the Iceman Rogue romance kind of thing kind of wraps up. Yeah, like you said, it felt very rushed. Almost like they didn't know what they wanted to do with it. Just a really disappointing end to the original trilogy. Pretty much it.
My number 8 is Deadpool 2. I love the Deadpool movies. I think they're very, very funny. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Oh, he has when they incorporate Deadpool into the MCU. Ryan Reynolds has to play Deadpool. He was born to play that role. Um, the whole time travel stuff with Cable is going to change my future if I come back and kill this little guy. I like Josh Brolin. He's a great Cable. He's a great Thanos. I love how Ryan Reynolds mentions that and breaks the fourth wall like Deadpool does. He's the only character who knows that Stanley is dead. It's just a funny character. The fight between Juggernaut and Colossus is great. Tiny legs, baby something else. It's just a funny movie. I like Deadpool. Deadpool is hilarious.
Okay, my number 8 is Apocalypse. Wasn't as good as it could have been, like you said, Apocalypse, one of my favorite villains, kind of underwhelming in this. I thought the other characters were more interesting, introduced us to Psylocke, so that was nice having Psylocke in a movie finally. The other Horsemen, Magneto, probably my favorite X-Men character, period, and Fassbender is just such a great Magneto, so, after we had Magneto as a boy, lost his family in Auschwitz, now he loses his wife and child and everything, so the development for Magneto is great, and Fassbender does it so well. Storm as one of the Horsemen was interesting, bringing her over to the light side after the whole thing. Quicksilver saving up everybody, great scene, Quicksilver, great character. Introduces us to a new Cyclops and Jean. They go and see Return of the Jedi, and the third one's always the worst one, and it's the third movie in this new timeline.
I like Return of the Jedi.
I do too. Yeah. December we'll rank Star Wars after Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
So yeah, I think and as always, McAvoy as Xavier, really well done. Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique now on the good guy's side. Pretty interesting that they managed to transition over like that. So underwhelming, but not horrible, I don't think.
All right, 7 is the Wolverine, the second one. I like the Japan setting. It's different. It's like touching up on what you said. We learned about how to kill somebody who's unkillable. Holding your heart in your hand thing. Setting up Days of Future Past. There's not much else to say. The flashbacks are nice. It's nice to see Jean Grey. There's not much else to say. You already touched up on it pretty well. It's skippable, but I like it. The action scenes are always good. Hugh Jackman, I will say this in every X-Men movie, he's a great Wolverine.
Yep.
The man was born to play Wolverine. So, like you said, skippable, but not. I didn't think it was terrible.
Yep.
But it sets it up very well for Days of Future Past.
Okay, so at 7 I have X2.
Okay.
X2 I thought was a very solid sequel, solid movie. It takes the characters we got in the first one and it develops them pretty well. The whole Scott and Logan rivalry continues on pretty well. It sets up Jean for Phoenix pretty well in this movie. They botched the follow-up, but here the setup is pretty good. Seeing Xavier vulnerable like that, he's the most powerful telepath in the world, and here you have the steampunk horror guy that they made out of Mastermind being able to manipulate him like that. Not the viewer even knowing what's going on right now. Is it real or is it not? Manipulating the professor like that. And very surreal feel from that part of the film. The fact that they come together to combat a bigger threat, which is Stryker. So, the whole government being dangerous thing, I like that. Rebecca Romijn is Mystique's good. Ian McKellen's good. Magneto. Again, we all know Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. He owns the role. Solid acting, solid characters. Introduction of Nightcrawler. Lots of good stuff all around. Solid sequel.
Very nice. Six is X-Men First Class. Good backstory. I like the intro of it. Young Professor X, young Magneto, Michael Fassbender, touching up on what you said. He's a great young Magneto. He's a fantastic young Magneto. James McAvoy is really good as Professor X role. We get to see how Beast comes about. Mystique kind of transitions over to the hero side from the dark side. Um, Banshee, Darwin, Emma Frost. I really like the movie. I don't like that I had to keep it out of my top 5, but that's just me personally. It's my list. I liked it. It wasn't anything like I was expecting. I didn't really know what to expect, but I really liked the movie. I thought it was very well done. Very good origin story. We learned about how he gets crippled, has to deal with the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I thought it was a very good movie.
Mhm.
I liked it. Very solid.
Okay, so at 6, I have Deadpool 2. Yeah, I thought this was just a great movie. Hilarious. There's character development with Deadpool. What happens to Vanessa and everything, and then all that happens out of that. The fight between Colossus and Juggernaut is hilarious. Very well done. It's just great movie all around. Baby legs. Yeah, all the funny stuff. You mentioned breaking the fourth wall. Calling Cable Thanos and all that.
That's what he does. That's Deadpool.
You're so dark. Are you sure you weren't supposed to be a DC villain?
I'm Batman.
Yeah, Domino's pretty cool. I just like the movie all around. Even Sugar Bear. Yeah. So for me, number 6, the funny and fun Deadpool. I have one problem with it and one problem only. It's time travel mechanics. Like I said when I talked about the first child, the only way to do time travel right is to do it like MCU and Dragon Ball Z did. You have to have multiverse. You have to split timelines. Otherwise, you try to do the Back to the Future thing, it doesn't make sense. So, which is what happens in this movie. But even that's not really enough to detract from its overall enjoyability.
Uh-huh. Number 5, I have Logan. I feel like this should have been the end to the X-Men franchise for Fox. Perfect ending to an incredible character, great actor. He had the role for almost 20 years. Hugh Jackman is the man. He's so versatile in his acting, and this was a great ending. The character development in this movie was just fantastic. It goes from an isolated, only loving himself, only caring about himself mutant to caring for his daughter X-23, holding his heart in his hand as he passes away, which is her. And I thought the homage to the X-Men at the end of the movie when she places the X on his gravestone was very cool. I really liked that. So Professor X is like 90. He's almost 100 years old. I just really like this movie. Like I said, I feel like this should have been the end, and then start New Mutants, which comes out in 2020. I just really liked this movie. I really did.
Okay. So number 5, I have X-Men, the first one. Solid introduction to the series. Very well done movie. Great casting choices. We already mentioned Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. It's going to be hard to find another person to play that role.
Yeah.
This battle with Sabretooth really well done. The rivalry between Logan and Scott for Jean is set up here really well done. Ray Park, Darth Maul, he's Toad. Calls out, don't people ever die? Calling out the fact that nobody stays dead in comic books unless you're Uncle Ben. He used to say Bucky, Jason Todd, and Uncle Ben, but now we have Winter Soldier and Red Hood, so just Uncle Ben.
Just Uncle Ben. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Can't catch a break.
Yeah. Halle Berry is Storm, very good in the role. Patrick Stewart, great Xavier. Not only looks the part, but does it so well.
Yeah.
Magneto, again, my favorite X-Men character. Motivation set up really well. It opens with him in Auschwitz and everything. So many said think about never again. He really means it. Doesn't want the same thing to happen to the mutants that did the Jews. Rebecca Romijn is a great Mystique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the casting was just so well done, and the story was set up so well. Not just Magneto as a villain, but also Senator Robert Kelly with the Mutant Registration Act. So the dangers that you see from the government. So it's being a libertarian, I like that part of it. The battle at the Statue of Liberty, everything about this movie is just so great. Even the which refer yellow spandex. Yeah. So original X-Men, solid movie, solid production. My number 5.
right, number 4 is the sequel to X-Men X2. Touching up on what you said about it earlier, solid sequel, very solid sequel. Good character development all around. Jean Grey starts to tap into her powers. We get the introduction of Nightcrawler, who breaks into the White House, tries to assassinate the president, and he's under some spell or something.
Mind control.
Mind control, that's right. Is it by Mastermind?
I think it was.
Okay. I like going back on him. I liked the introduction of Mastermind. I thought he was cool. Solid movie all around. Like, you get to see everybody working together, heroes and villains. William Stryker was a fantastic villain. We kind of get to see the the flashbacks to Logan's past. Deathstrike was cool. That fight scene was really, really good. Just a great. I liked it. It's a very solid sequel. Very solid sequel.
Okay, so at number 4, I have Logan. Just about what you said, a very emotional movie. Great action sequences. The fight between 24 and Logan was brutal and well choreographed and everything. Everything about this movie was so well done. Not just from a technical standpoint, but from a story standpoint, from a character standpoint. Not just a great great X-Men movie, but one of the best superhero movies ever. And just like you said, really should have been the last movie in the Fox's reign of X-Men. Just perfect send off for Wolverine. What a great way it would have been if it had been the last one.
Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Number 3 is Deadpool. I love this movie. I really do. Ryan Reynolds is the perfect role for Deadpool. Touches up on his backstory. Basically, we learn about Deadpool. He tells us himself about his backstory. Breaks the fourth wall. That's what Deadpool does. Colossus. We get to meet Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Francis, who calls himself Ajax after a dish soap. The timelines he can't keep up with them. McAvoy or Stewart. These timelines are messing with my head. It's a great movie all around. I really like Deadpool. It's a funny movie, very, very funny movie. First rated R movie for an X-Men movie, and they put maximum effort into that movie.
So my number 3 is Deadpool. Yeah, like you said, everything you said, and more. Can't look at Zamboni the same way ever again. Can't hear Angel of the Morning or hear the Inspiration the same way ever again. The relationship with Vanessa and everything, it's really well done. It's just a funny movie. Fourth wall breaks is just all around pretty good. Tiny hands, all that good stuff. Number 3, Deadpool.
Deadpool is great. Number 2, I have the original X-Men. Good, very good starting point to a franchise that unfortunately could not be done very well by Fox. I like all the characters. The casting was great. James Marsden, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Rebecca Romaine, all fantastic. Every single one of them. Ray Park, as you said, as Toad, Halle Berry. The casting's just great. Great starting point. The fight scenes are great. Anna Paquin is Rogue. The relationship between her and Iceman begin. Great movie. Jubilee, I think, is in it as like a post-credits.
I think it was a deleted scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she was in it, though. So.
Okay. Number 2, Days of Future Past. Great movie. I love this movie. Introduction of Quicksilver and that whole scene was just awesome. Finally get the Sentinels in a movie. Jennifer Lawrence being real popular, so they transitioned Mystique from a villain to hero, starting with this movie. It's done pretty well. Both old and new Xavier and Magneto in the movie, or present timeline Wolverine going back to his past self, interacting with the new versions of the characters. Nixon's president, so again, it's historical. There's it's not a fake president like in X2. There's real historical people in there. I just really love this movie. There's only a couple of problems I have with it. One applies to the
Time travel.
Yeah, the time travel, like what I talked about in Deadpool. You know, the single timeline time travel just doesn't work. It makes things too complicated when you actually think about it. The other one applies to these second timeline movies as a whole, which is these characters don't age. You know,
No, they really don't.
Decades pass. You know, first X-Men First Class is in the '60s, and Gigi Fury past '70s. Apocalypse is '83 because they go see Return of the Jedi. Dark Phoenix is 1992. So decades pass and they still look the same in each one. You know, 1992 is Dark Phoenix, so in 8 years they're gonna be.
He looks like Patrick
Stewart and Ian McKellen's like. Yeah, so minor points, really. Overall, fantastic film.
So my number one is obviously Days of Future Past. Basically, touching up on what you said, it's all great. The time travel thing is excuse me. Logan interacting with the new X-Men, or the X-Men of the past, James McAvoy, Nicholas Holtz, all of them. They're just great actors in their roles. Michael Fassbender as Magneto, again. Great Magneto casting call.
Yes, absolutely.
Just a fun movie overall. Peter Dinklage as Bolivar Trask.
Yes. We get Bishop.
We do get Bishop. Kitty Shadowcat is finally useful.
Yep.
Just a fun movie, and it like fixes everything. Like they could have either ended it at this movie or they could have ended it at Logan. So, regardless, great movie overall.
Okay. So my number one is First Class. Probably not surprising if you know me. You know my degrees in history. I love the Cold War, so you know X-Men solving the Cuban Missile Crisis was not to love, right?
Right.
It's the new introduces us to our new Xavier Magneto. You know McAvoy and Fassbender are just so great in these roles, and the relationship between the two is done so well in this movie. It really sets it up. I think these are the two at their most human, most relatable that they've ever been in any of the X-Men movies. You know, you're just to Moira McTaggart and make her CIA instead of a scientist, but it works. They do it well. Wolverine's cameo. The new characters, you know, introduced to Havoc for the first time. You know, they kill Darwin, so you know, it shows you how dangerous being an X-Man is. Nightcrawler's father we get introduced to. Kevin Bacon is Sebastian Shaw, and he's a great villain. You know, Jeremy Jones is Emma Frost. That whole group trying to bring the world to thermonuclear war. It is just, I just love this movie. I think it's just the best X-Men movie. I think that X-Men First Class is a first class movie. Absolutely,
No pun intended.
no pun definitely intended. Okay, so with that, we will take a break, do the magic of math, and come back with our aggregate ratings. Okay, we're back. We did the math. So, here are our combined rankings. Starting off at the bottom is Dark Phoenix. What a shock, right?
Shocker!
Then at 11, Origins Wolverine. 9 and 10, we have a tie between Apocalypse and The Last Stand. Then we have The Wolverine, followed by Deadpool 2. And then X2. Then we have Logan. Then a tie between First Class and the original X-Men.
Okay.
In second place, we have Deadpool. And at the top spot is Days of Future Past. So, that's our X-Men ranking.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you guys next time. I have some ideas, so keep an eye on the channel. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, share, all that good stuff. Remember to check out Tanner's other channel where he plays video games with his friends.
We'll be back.
See you then.